Have you ever just stopped and wondered about the little bits of magic that happen in your kitchen? You know, when you take two things that absolutely should not mix, and somehow they do. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that magic. So let's use the absolute perfect example for this. Mayonnaise. Think about it. You've got liquid oil, a liquid egg yolk, you start whisking, and what do you get? This thick, creamy, almost solid spread. How on earth is that possible? It feels like it breaks the laws of physics, right? But it's actually just some really cool and really clever kitchen chemistry. So to really solve this whole mayonnaise mystery, we first have to understand let's call it a fundamental conflict that's at the heart of so many of our favorite sauces. And this right here is the core of the problem. I mean, you can shake a bottle of salad dressing all day long, but if you let it sit, what happens? The oil and vinegar separate. Every time. And that's because on a molecular level, they are just not compatible. Oil is what's called nonpolar, and water is polar, and they basically want nothing to do with each other. This is the big challenge we have to overcome. Okay, so if oil and water are such bitter enemies, how in the world do we get them to call a truce? Well, science has a name for this little peacemaking process, and it is the key to pretty much everything we're talking about today. And here is that word, emulsion. That's the official scientific name for this culinary magic trick. It's not that the oil and water have actually changed their minds about each other. Nope. Instead, we've basically tricked them. We've broken one of the liquids down into such teeny tiny little droplets that they get trapped or suspended inside the other one. And that's what creates a totally new, stable mixture. And get this, not all emulsions are created equal. You've got two main types. On one side, there's oil and water, like our friend mayonnaise. That's where tiny little oil drops are floating around in a water-based liquid. This is what gives you that creamy, saucy texture. But then you can flip it. A water and oil emulsion, like butter, is where tiny water droplets are trapped inside a whole lot of fat. That's why butter is solid. It's the same principle, but with totally different results. All right, so we get it. We need to suspend these droplets. But what stops them from just finding each other again and separating? We need a helper, a go-between, a kind of secret agent for our sauce. I love this quote because it's the perfect way to think about it. An emulsifier is this special little thing that acts like a bridge. It's the peacemaker that steps into that war between oil and water and somehow convinces them to get along. So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty cool. The emulsifier molecule kind of has a split personality. One end of it absolutely loves water. That's called the hydrophilic part. And the other end loves oil. That's the lipophilic part. So it literally grabs a water molecule with one hand and an oil molecule with the other. It forms this little barrier around the droplets so they can't all clump back together. And that's why egg yolks are so key for mayonnaise. They contain a super powerful emulsifier called lecithin. Okay, so now we know our cast of characters. Oil, water, and our emulsifier. So let's talk technique. Because building a stable emulsion is kind of like a delicate dance. The steps really matter. Step 1 is, without a doubt, the most important part. You have to add the oil so slowly. I'm talking drop by drop at first. Why? Because your whisk needs to break up the oil into tiny droplets faster than it can pool together. Keeping everything cold, like in step 2, helps thicken the oil, which makes it easier to break up. And the acid in step 3, well, that's not just for flavor, it actually helps the emulsifier do its job even better. But what happens when the dance goes wrong? We have all been there. One minute you've got this beautiful, creamy sauce, and the next, you've got a greasy, separated, curdled mess. This is what we call a broken emulsion. It is the question that has frustrated cooks for generations. You did everything right, you whisked until your arm was sore, and it still fell apart. Well, understanding why it breaks is the absolute key to stopping it from happening again. And here are the usual suspects. Adding the oil too fast is culprit number 1, for sure. You're basically overwhelming the emulsifier, and it just can't keep up. Heat is another big enemy. It gets the molecules all excited and moving too fast, and they can just split apart. And finally, you might just not have enough of your secret agent, not enough egg yolk, for example, to handle all the oil you've added. So yeah, we focused a lot on mayonnaise, but once you really get this principle, you start seeing it absolutely everywhere in the food world. It is a truly foundational concept in cooking. I'm serious. This isn't just about one creamy sauce. It's a key that unlocks an entire universe of different textures and flavors right in your own kitchen. Think about a classic hollandaise sauce for Eggs Benedict. What is it? It's just melted butter, which is almost all fat, emulsified into egg yolks, and a little bit of lemon juice. It's the exact same principle we've been talking about. Or how about a great garlic aioli? Again, it's just oil that's been emulsified into a base. Traditionally, it was just garlic, but a lot of people use egg yolk to make it easier. Another beautiful, stable emulsion. Even a simple vinaigrette that you shake up is an emulsion. It's just a temporary one. The mustard that you add isn't only for flavor, it's the emulsifier that's working hard to hold that oil and vinegar together, even if it's just for a little while. And this is really the big takeaway, right? This is not some complicated technique that's only for professional chefs. When you understand the simple science behind how emulsifiers work, it gives you the power to create, to fix, and to perfect your own amazing sauces. So, there you have it. The power is officially in your hands. You know the secret to making oil and water become best friends. You know all about the secret agents that make it happen. So the only question left is, what are you going to go create with this knowledge? Go on, get in the kitchen and start playing around.